And now you are with APAR.
Yeah.
So if you could just tell us about your journey in APAR, how does it look?
Right. So this is a very different company and very interesting. It's a company of its own kind. It's a great company. It's a great business. The challenge here was that it was very different from any company that I have worked in.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I came into my office, the first day, there was a person walking with a walking stick. And later on I learned, and he sat next to my cabin, that he was 89 years old.
Okay.
So 10 years, 15 years tenure, which were unheard of in my previous companies.
Sure.
So I came to know that they are, just average tenures. So that is one thing. And why such has happened? So we have tried to decode that and try to retain the good elements in the company which are there, the culture which sustains such tenures.
Sure.
And of course, there is a lot to be done on new things, which we have also been working on. So that is the challenge which is there. Out here, my role is more of a group HR head role, and there are 4 HR heads who head their own HR functions and businesses, and they report to their business heads respectively, and they functionally work with me closely. But as far as their own businesses are concerned, they are fairly independent and they are all highly proficient in their work. But any corporate interventions which are there, which are the new intervention, that we do from here.
Okay.
So out here the role is more of understanding the context,
Sure.
creating a HR strategy based on that. Even the company vision, mission statement, we have revisited, and we have a conclave around the corner in which we are going to talk about it. We're going to launch that again. So it involves a very deep connect with the overall business thought process of the management and the company and HR as well.
Right. So it has to be an amalgamation of
Yes.
all these departments.
And the more role also is there of having an advisory role to the business leaders and more of a mentor and coaching role for the HR teams.
So while HR has been constant, industries have changed in
Yes.
your professional. What would you think are the pros of changing industries vis-a-vis sticking to one industry, and what are the cons, if I may ask?
Yeah, so let's come to changing jobs and not changing jobs first, then we'll come to industries. So both have their own pros and cons. So changing jobs makes you learn
Sure.
new things,
Right.
keeps you always out of your comfort zone,
Sure.
always on your toes,
Right.
and always excited.
Sure.
Life is interesting all the time,
Right.
and it does take its toll, because you are from one place to another. When you're moving, there's a lot of effort, extra effort that you have to make, a lot of stretch which is involved. But it depends how what is your aptitude like. So for me, that has suited well. Though I've had stable tenures, most of them, but I have changed jobs. The people who have been in the same job, of course, they have a wealth of information and knowledge
Sure.
of their company much deeper than those who have changed jobs. So they have their own advantage. If one has been in changing jobs or not changing jobs, but been out of one comfort zone and the roles have been changing, it doesn't matter, I would say. Industries, yes, I think changing industries is very good. One, because if you see from the manufacturing industry to the IT industry to the telecom, things are so different. Manufacturing would have foolproof processes, thorough processes, rigor, whereas IT would have speed.
Sure.
And so you can borrow one from the other, put into the other wherever applicable. So you really actually contribute more because you are able to think more, in that sense that we have been exposed to more.
Right.
And you can cull out some from one industry to the other. Telecom, for that matter, would be an amalgamation of both, I would say.
Sure. So you can pick the best from different industries and then try and incorporate it in different
Yes,
industries.
and of course, I mean, strategy is nothing but doing something differently in a context.
Sure.
And of course, it has to be, any strategy has to be contextually relevant and specific.
Talking about HR as a profession, what are your thoughts on how many how many CHROs end up becoming CEOs of companies, or for that matter, end up being on executive committees or board of directors? Are you happy with the number of HR professionals who are at that level, or you think there is scope of improvement?
Right. So I would segregate the two. Becoming a CEO, some may aspire, some may not aspire. Being on the executive committee or on the board of directors, executive committee, most of the HR heads are there. I'm pretty satisfied with that. I have always been on the executive committee of whichever level, if was it of the circle CEO's executive committee or the corporate executive committee, I've always been there, and so have been most of the HR guys. I think they're doing a very good job there. Board of directors, of course, the numbers are really wanting. In my personal opinion, the HR person should be on the board of directors, but one has to actually pick up those skills, add that value out there where others see that value, then only one can be there. But if they are there, they would bring a very different perspective to the table. So I have been on the board of my previous companies, one of the group companies which was there, and so there was a good exposure. And I saw one thing, that I was always bringing a different point of view, because most of the people were coming either from the finance function or for the sales and marketing function.
Right.
But I would definitely always bring a third-party view, which was not there, because it was a entirely different and new way of looking at things. So I think that is an advantage of at least having that perspective on the board. You may not go by that. The other advantage is because of having exposure to the nomination and remuneration committee presentations to the board, I think the HR person must be there on this committee of the board at least.
Okay. So it's an interesting point that you raise here about people from sales and finance occupying the larger space in the board of directors, so to speak. Is it because HR is probably not able to talk in terms of data, or doesn't talk in terms of data and numbers? Is that the reason why you don't find enough HR on the board of directors?
Interesting. So the reason is twofold.
Okay.
One, I think, Kiran, the HR guys, it's not that they're not talking in numbers. Things have changed now.
Right. Okay.
Manpower budgets, and if we are not, we must talk more. Manpower budgets, be it compensation and benefits, employee engagement scores, talent acquisition, statistics. These are now very common and people always remember these. But yes, we need to use it more, and with HR analytics going to acquire the center stage along with artificial intelligence, machine learning and other digital technologies in HR, that is the way forward. It is inevitable. It has to go that way. So definitely HR will become more matrix driven, and even they are talking in matrix. Right. So yes, there is a gap there where people have to come. Secondly, HR guys should not always try to imitate the sales and marketing or finance guys. I don't think they should.
Is that a challenge though? What you say is a very valid point, but does that happen in reality? Have you experienced
sometimes
trying to emulate the sales or the finance?
Because they know their job very well. So I need to understand the business. I need to understand the sales and marketing function, the finance function. I should be familiar with it, and I should know the people there. But fundamental strength of HR professionals is people understanding. So one should never forget that. One should not do this by losing the other. Right. So you have to keep your core intact. And when you understand, it should not be a routine, administrative, regulatory job of the people. It has to be a deep understanding who's going to leave when. Well before that, understanding why somebody is not fitting in, what is the real cause. So those insights, definitely the board of directors, the executive committee. They love that.
Sure.
And with businesses, service industry gaining more and more importance, in those industries, it's only about people. So the CEOs who have HR heads who have become CEOs are mostly in IT or BPO industries. Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you so much for your time and those valuable insights. It was a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you,
Sanjay.
Kiran.
Thank
I had
you.
a nice conversation.
Thank you so much.